Hello, welcome to From the South. I'm Luis Alberto Matos from the teleSUR studios in Havana, Cuba. We begin with the news. As we have been reporting, the 24th Summit of ALBA-TCP, of Heads of States and Government, is currently underway in Caracas. For this, we are going live with our collaborator Garfield from Antigua and Barbuda, who is on the ground to have all the information regarding this Paramount Summit that is taking place today. Hello, Garfield. Welcome to From the South.
Hello, Luis, and thank you so much for, of course, joining us live here in Caracas. You have joined us as the leaders are holding their private meeting as we speak. This is a momentous development for the bloc, of course, a 10-member bloc called ALBA-TCP, the Bolivarian Alliance for the Peoples of Our America, People's Trade Treaty. The leaders, of course, meeting for the 24th Summit, but also celebrating today the anniversary, the 20th anniversary of the creation of that bloc called ALBA. It is a momentous development, of course, for this bloc. So what's happening now is that the leaders are meeting privately. They will then emerge for the family photo, and as well they will also have a public meeting as well, which will be, of course, carrying live for you on teleSUR, of course, giving you full coverage, comprehensive coverage of what's taking place here as well. All right, so quite a bit of anticipation now building for that. Of course, photographers, there is a gaggle of media individuals who are waiting there patiently for the leaders to emerge from their private talks, of course, for that iconic iconic family photo, which of course will be remembered long into the future. It will be for posterity. The leaders will remember that at 20 years of the 20th anniversary of this bloc coming into being, they gathered here in the Venezuelan capital, Caracas, to of course hold crucial discussions on geopolitics, the challenges that they're facing as a bloc, and the opportunities that can emerge as well. The world is facing several geopolitical uncertainties, what with what's taking place in the Middle East, with the challenges facing Gaza, what's also taking place, the Ukraine-Russia conflict. Of course, President Trump will emerge for his second term as president next month as well. And he has promised already that there may be tariffs, new tariffs, which will be imposed on goods coming in from from Mexico and Canada, as well as additional tariffs on goods from China as well. So quite a bit of geopolitical uncertainty. But there are opportunities as well for this bloc to further cement its partnership. And what has been tried here in relation to ALBA-TCP is what has never been tried before in Latin America and the Caribbean in terms of an integration movement. This integration movement is based on the people at the center, not so much the issues of commerce and trade, but it is about a people-centered approach to integration and development. It is a social element, and that has differentiated and demarcated this grouping, this movement, this integration movement, from others that we have seen in Latin America and the Caribbean. It is about a people-centered approach, and that's what the leaders are discussing now. It's about social cohesion, it's about solidarity, it's about inclusiveness, it's about complementarity, taking into account the specific areas of interest and the peculiarities facing each of those countries. Because bear in mind, we're talking about Venezuela and Cuba, of course, which are founding members of ALBA. But there have been others in Latin America and the Caribbean, Bolivia, Nicaragua, and of course 6 countries in the Eastern Caribbean, Antigua, Barbuda, as well as Grenada, St. Lucia, St. Kitts and Nevis, St. Vincent and the Grenadines, as well as St. Lucia, and Dominica. So clearly there are asymmetries in relation to the size of the countries. The Eastern Caribbean countries, perhaps over 100,000 on average for their populations, much bigger populations in Latin America, of course, with Cuba, Venezuela, Nicaragua, and Bolivia. But they're bearing in mind that despite these asymmetries, they can work together, they can be social cohesion, they can have the people at the center of this development. What has happened so far, Luis, is that President Nicolas Maduro, who is of course hosting the summit, has met with leaders. He's welcomed them personally. He's greeted them warmly. And of course, members of the prime ministers and presidents were very, very well warmly greeted as they entered here on the red carpet just behind me. And of course, he met them there and greeted them warmly as well. President of Cuba, Miguel Diaz-Canel, there was a long discussion between himself and President Nicolas Maduro as they looked, I'm pretty sure, at the potentialities, the possibilities for further collaboration, further cooperation in this grouping. There's also a crucial element that will unfold here as well, and that is that the state of Palestine is being represented at this summit. Palestine, as we would have reported yesterday, one of the issues that emerged from the working meeting was that from Jorge Ariaza, who is the executive secretary of ALBA-TCP, as well as Venezuela's foreign minister, Ivan Gil, they both spoke about the importance of embracing the cause of Gaza, because they're saying that there are other areas of injustice in the world, but Gaza is almost the epicenter of injustice, and they figure that it's important to embrace the cause of Gaza, because every time they say a bomb falls on Gaza, it doesn't only fall on the people of Palestine, but it also falls on the people of the world, humanity. The collective humanity is injured by those bombs which are falling in Gaza. So that will be a crucial element of the discussions here, how to ensure that there is solidarity with the Palestinian people who are facing ongoing crises and ongoing humanitarian tragedy over there in Gaza, and of course other particular challenges which are seen to be caused by imperialism, caused by the hegemony of the West. The leaders here will rail against that and will solidify their position as well. The leaders here as well will also again call for an end to the sanctions, to the unilateral coercive measures taken against Venezuela, Cuba, and Nicaragua in particular. They will indicate that this is an injustice that has to be stopped, and it is important that the world pay attention to this as well. One thing is crucial, as I go back over to you, Luis, is a point that was made by Ivan Gil, the foreign minister for Venezuela. He said yesterday that ALBA-TCP must be positioned as a force, a powerful multilateral and geopolitical actor in this new age. It's a new dispensation where there are so many uncertainties. And it says ALBA-TCP must let its voice be heard, must position itself as that powerful geopolitical actor. We expect that that will emerge as the declaration coming out of this 24th summit, which is, of course, marking 20 years of ALBA-TCP. Back over to you, Luis.
Garfield, before letting you go, I have a quick question. As you were saying, ALBA, one of the key aspects is that it's people-centered. Yesterday, the Social Movement Council were debating and bringing everything up to speed ahead of this important summit that is taking place today among the heads of states and government. How do you describe everything, how it has worked so far coming up to this point, and what can we expect coming after the summit in that final declaration?
Indeed, yes, you're absolutely right. So there were some social movements which have been meeting ahead of course, the summit taking place today. And social gatherings, social movements from across the Caribbean and beyond as well, who have been having those discussions. And they're looking towards unifying their positions, solidifying the areas of commonality, the areas of common interest among them. Of course, we heard earlier from one of those social movements, which is the trade union movement from Trinidad and Tobago. We heard from the oil field workers trade union in the Twin Island state of Twin Island Republic of Trinidad and Tobago. So there is that coalescing, that coming together of the social movements across the region and across the world as well. And they see this as an important opportunity, an important point, an important inflection point to let their voices be heard and to, of course, channel their positions through the leaders here of the ALBA-TCP movement. So far, those discussions took place yesterday. There was also, of course, the working meeting that I mentioned, attended by Ivan Gil, the foreign minister for Venezuela, and also Jorge Ariaza, who is, of course, the executive secretary of ALBA-TCP. They engaged in crucial discussions. CELAC also represented here. That's the community of Latin American and Caribbean states. They will hold crucial discussions alongside the leaders of ALBA-TCP as well. So there is a coming together that common interest that has been expressed by so many of the, not only the leaders of ALBA-TCP, Louis, but also the social movements and the blocs like CELAC, which is also celebrating an anniversary this year as well, coming together of their positions, indicating that it is important as an inflection point to let their voices be heard in this new geopolitical order. So far, things have gone very, very smoothly. Things have gone very, very well here in Caracas, Venezuela. And it's expected that the summit, the open part of the summit, the public session of the summit, which will be carried live here on teleSUR, will be just as smooth, just as seamless. And of course, we'll be hearing from the leaders of the 10 members who comprise ALBA-TCP. In addition, we expect to hear, as we said, a significant focus on the Palestinian cause. As I was said yesterday by Ivan Hill, that has to be given priority because it is the one challenge, the one ongoing humanitarian crisis in the world that demands the world's attention, that is seen as a blight on humanity because it has not been able to address this issue up until now. Back over to you, Louis.
Thank you, Garfield, for the information. Of course, we'll stay tuned for everything that is going to happen in the next couple of minutes. In the next minutes, we will have all those statements from the heads of states of government live here on our signal. Thank you for the moment, Garfield. Well, like this, we have come to the end of this news brief. You can find these and many other stories on our website, telesurenglish.net. So join us on social media, Facebook, X, Instagram, Telegram, and TikTok. For teleSUR English, I'm Luis Alberto Matos. Thanks for watching.